Yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm back. Woo! Yeah! Alright, today's episode of Sex Talk 101, episode 14, is going to be a video you thought would never come. To have a car. Does getting the car help you get the ass? To have a car or to have no car is the question. You see, a lot of people have made YouTube videos about, does a car, is it a game changer to get you laid, or is it a means to an end, or is it just something you just gotta have because it'll make your situation 5 to 10 times better? Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this. Now, Zach Deloney does have YouTube channels, and Zach told me that he would like a YouTube video to be made discussing about the having a car or not having a car phenomenon. And like I do with these types of YouTube videos, I try to give you 5 reasons on why you should not get a car, and then try to come up with another 5 reasons on why you need to have a car. Because you see, the opposite sex, which is women, most women feel like, I would say a vast majority of women, I would say about 90, like 95% of women feel like you have to have a car if you're going to take me out to lunch and dinner. Like, if you really want to get with this ass, you need to have a car. You need to have some kind of vehicle to make me feel satisfied on why should I give you a chance. And you see, it's very controversial because there's one group who's saying you need to have a car, and there's another group who says you don't need to have a car. So to put all the folk tale and all the urban legends to rest, that's what this video's been made for. Now, let's talk about the baby boomers. You know, people of my father's generation, because my dad is like 61, 62 years old. You know, men from the 1940s, the 1950s, early 1960s, that would be considered the baby boomers. Now, a lot of these guys try to tell people of the Gen X's and the 80s babies, my generation, you gotta have a car. You gotta have a car. But see what they here's what they don't tell you, and this is something you find out the hard way. This is something you find out the painful way. Like Triple H said in Professional Wrestling Storyline last year, welcome to the reality era. When you first get a car, there's a lot of responsibility with having a car. You don't just save up $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. You don't just save up $10,000 and you up and get a car. There's a lot of stuff you have to go through. Translation, there's a lot of bullshit you have to experience. First, you got to go to the DMV. And let's be honest, you might fail your first time trying to get your driver's license. You're not going to get it on your first try. So you try a second time. You almost passed the second time, but you failed twice. So you figure on attempt number 3, I'm going to get it. But then you got some people who may not like your personality. They may hate your personality. They may not like the way you look or sound. And even though you pass on the third try, well, they just say, well, I don't know. I think you might have cheated on this test. I think you done too well on this test. Just like that, you failed all 3 times. Now you got to try attempt number 4. You do good on try number 4, but for whatever reason, they feel like, again, they accuse you of cheating. You're like, bruh, I studied, now pass me. And depending on who's making you take the test, they can decide if they're very motivated. They want you to pass the test or not. So it's not until 4 to 5 tries you finally pass your driver's license test, and they give you your driver's license. If you're in high school, they call it a high school permit. If you're in college or in the workforce, you got a driver's license. So it might take you 3 to 5 tries, or if you have a learning disability, it might take you 5 to 10 tries. Yes, I know some people, it took them like almost 10 tries or just about 10 tries before they got their driver's license because they had a learning disability. So there's a lot of ways this can go for you. Now let's talk about when I was in school. See, when I was in high school, I had at least 7 people who got their driver's license in a car. And the first thing they told me was, do not be in a rush to get your driver's license and get a car because you want to get the bitches and the hoes, motherfucker. And they actually said those words to me. That's why a lot of times in my older YouTube videos, you be hearing me say it, because I got it from football players and basketball players at Westchester High School in Los Angeles, California. And they used to tell me to my face, don't be trying to get a car if you're not 100% committed. And when I looked at them, I was like, what do you mean? They looked at me and said, I'm going to say it again. Do not get a car unless you're 100% committed. That means you got to sacrifice. You got to spend less time at the gym, less time playing basketball. You can't be playing video games. You can't be going out to the nightclubs trying to talk to the bitches and the hoes. You have to be committed to, I want a car. And a lot of these guys, when they got cars, they got lied to by the baby boomers. The baby boomers told them all you gotta do is get a car and the woman pays attention. What they don't want to tell you is you will get the wrong kind of women. You get women all right, just not the physically, sexually attractive women that you want. You're not going to be getting those supermodels, fitness models, booty models, actresses in television and film. You're not going to get the news lady. You're not going to get those physically, sexually attractive women. You're going to get the complete opposite of that. You're going to get women that you've been dealing with your whole entire life, basically. There are guys who got cars, and they get women who's old enough to be their mother or grandmother riding in their car. You know, they get women old enough, women that's in their late 30s, mid 40s, possibly early 50s. And those guys don't look happy and excited because they got a car, but look what they have in their car. That's not something they want to brag to their best friends at work or at the gym about. Or you get a woman that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds riding in your car. That's not something you want to brag to your friends about on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You be like, what kind of bullshit is this? I'm going to tell you what kind of bullshit it is. It's called politics. Sex politics. You know that old saying where they say you got to learn how to crawl before you can walk? You got to learn how to lose before you can succeed? I think Shaquille O'Neal said it best in basketball. You got to learn how to lose a couple of times before you learn how to win. Well, when you first get a car, it ain't exactly like the movies and the television shows. It ain't like Fast and Furious. It's like Fast and Furious, but it ain't Fast and Furious. What I mean when I say is that, how many times, raise your hand, how many times you gone to a bus stop or a train station in your city and state and you've seen a guy pull up, pull the window down, and spit some game, some mad game at a white woman, a black woman, an Asian woman, a Latino woman, or a woman from Russia or from Germany, and the woman look at the guy with total disgust and go, get the fuck away from me. And the guy be like, I got a car, I got 2 jobs, I might not have a house, but I have an apartment, and why are you rejecting me? Why are you blowing me off? You know why? Because the woman think that you think she a whore. The woman think you think she a slut. So translation, you get rejected. And that's not the first time you're going to try. You're going to try that a total of 3 to 5 times. The first 3 or 4 times, you're going to get rejected. I've seen plenty of guys have a car, and then they look at me at a bus stop or at the train station, and they go, man, this bitch rejected me, man. I got a car, and she gonna reject me? I gave her the phone number, and she ain't called me in 3 days. 3 days she ain't called me. And I be looking at the guy like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? I can't look at a woman and say, go holler at that man or get in that man's car. See, when baby boomers tell you you need to get your driver's license to get you a car, what they're doing is, in actual reality, they're setting you up for failure. they're setting you up for failure big time because they're telling you to do it and you go do it. So you save up anywhere between $1,000 to like $10,000 in 5 years, and you get you a car, a used car, or a bucket, which a bucket's embarrassing, but not that a used car is any better, and you do it, and then you find out how difficult having a car is. There's washing your car, keeping your car nice and fresh, keeping it clean. There's, if you're in high school, there's curfew. By the time it gets like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, you can't be driving out at night because there'll be the LAPD, the police, the sheriff deputy, out on patrol. And if you're in college or in the real world, you got gas you have to pay for. There's a car note you have to pay. Then there's a thing called a lease. And the word lease means, hold on, every time I do a YouTube video, there is this situation where you have the car but you don't own the car. The word lease means with an option to buy. If you buy the car might cost anywhere between $10,000 to like maybe $15,000 or $16,000. You might only have $5,000 to $10,000, but the car gonna cost between $10,000 to $15,000. So that's another $5,000 you have to save up. So instead of trying to get the car in 4 years, it takes you almost 6 or 7 years to make the car actually yours. That's another thing you're gonna go through and experience quite painfully. Now let's talk about the reasons why you should not have a car. Reason number 1, gas. Gas will kick your ass. And that rhymes, doesn't it? Gas will kick your ass. That actually rhymes. You're going to be paying for gas 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You're going to be paying for gas because you have to go to work. You can't refuse not to show up at your job because you'll get fired. So that's one reason why you want get a car. Number 2, you have to get the car washed because you can't afford to have a car that's dirty and smells bad. So you have to pay at least $10 to $15, sometimes $25, $30, depending on what location you go to get your car washed. So you can't get away from that. So that's 2 reasons on why you don't want to get a car. Reason number 3, you have to get a small check to make sure the engine is running smoothly. And at some point, if it's a used car or a bucket, it might break down in 2 years and 3 years. That's going to cost you 10 to 15 grand. You got to take it to a car mechanic at some point to make sure the car is running fresh. You don't want to go to the nightclub on a Friday night, a Saturday, and get stranded at a location that you're not familiar with. Yeah, so that's reason number 3, and reason number 4. Number 4 is you can be stranded. So that's 4 reasons on why you should not get a car. Number 5 is car insurance. Oh yeah, you get hit. If somebody hits your car not once but 5 times, and you don't have no car insurance, you're gonna be paying 80% of your own money for car insurance. Now, if you have car insurance, they'll take care of it. But most of the time when people acquire a car, they don't even have car insurance. So that's 5 reasons on why you probably may not want to have a car. Now let's focus on the 5 reasons on why you actually should want a car. Reason number 1, the bitches and the hoes. No woman wants to mess with a man who rides the bus and take the train. Now this is where the video gets very fun and exciting. This is where I break down politics. Sex politics. See, in this video, I respectably disagree with Zach Deloney here on YouTube because I already gave you 5 reasons on why you should not get a car. Now I'm going to argue 5 reasons why you should get a car. See, no woman is going to be happy with riding the bus. There's creeps, there's weirdos, there's perverts, and the last thing a woman wants is to be harassed by a pervert. And then you convince her, oh, it's only 5 blocks, it's only 10 blocks, it's only 15 blocks, it ain't that big of a deal. To me and you as a man that thinks smart and logical, it ain't no big deal. To a beautiful, attractive woman that's from the age of 18 to 29, A girl that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, it's a big deal. A big fucking deal. Same thing with the train. You might succeed with the train a lot faster than you can with the bus. Hell, you might succeed with Uber and Lyft and a taxi faster than you can with a bus and a train. I'll even do you one better than that. Number 2, if you actually can't get a car because you don't make enough money at your 2 jobs, you could actually rent a car. There are guys who get laid 3 to 5 times better because they rent a car. Now, that don't mean you go get you a 2019 Lamborghini. That don't mean you go get you a 2019 Mercedes-Benz. Because those are going to be way up there, way past your pay grade. That's some shit I probably would try. Once I start saving my money in 2019, that's some shit I would try. You go rent you a car and you get laid 3 to 5 times more than you would have if you didn't have no car. So that's reason number 1 and reason number 2 on why you should have a car. Reason number 3, you're not limited to going to locations. See, when you try to take a bus or a train to the nightclub, you notice all the guys that take buses and trains, they have to do that 2 or 3 hours in advance. So let's say you and your best friend both get off of work at the same exact time and you both go to the same nightclub. Well, guess what? It only might take him 45 minutes to an hour to get to a nightclub because he has a car. You gotta leave no sooner you leave work to get to the same nightclub. Now, you could have asked your best friend for a ride, but then he gonna charge you money for gas, and you ain't gonna have no money to get in the club. You ain't gonna have no money for the bitches and the hoes, and you ain't gonna have no money for alcohol. So yeah, now that's a problem. So that's 3 reasons on why you actually should have a car. Reason number 4 why you should have a car. You don't have to worry about being late to work, being late to college, you don't have to worry about coming home late to your house or your apartment. See, when you ride the bus or the train, especially the bus driver determines whether you get there on time or if you get there late or if you don't even make it to your destination. They get paid their money, but you get put in jeopardy of losing your job because the rule is if you come late to work too many times, that results in you getting fired. Yeah, and your employer don't want to hear, well, the bus driver took 30 minutes, 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes to get to my bus stop location. The employer going to be looking at you like, that's not my problem. You coming late on company time. Yeah, so that's 4 reasons on why you want to get a car. Number 5 is you can go anywhere you want with no restrictions. You don't have to wait for nobody. You don't have to be obligated to nobody. And you have the power and the control in your hands to do whatever you want because you have a car. So I've given you 5 reasons on why you should not get a car. And I've given you 5 reasons on why you should get a car. So it sounds like a very strong, legitimate video. Now let's talk about the politics. Now, there are times where you may not be a physically, sexually attractive man. But because you have a car, you can get some ass 80 to 85% of the time because you have a car. So you could be a fat guy that's 230 pounds, 240 or 250 or 260. Now, that don't mean a woman like a fat guy, but he have a car. Now, let's try to explain the sex politics. You're going to get nothing but sluts and whores in your car, okay? You're going to get women who have reputations for being sluts. You're going to get the girls that put on too much lipstick, too much makeup. You know, there's the tattoos, there's the body piercings. They're not wearing no panties and no bra. They're the woman you don't take home to mother. That's the first thing you have to understand. The second thing that you have to understand about reality is that you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to get used. Somehow, some way, You're going to get used by a woman that you find physically, sexually attractive. It's going to be a woman in college or in the workplace or at the gym or at the park or at the movie theater that you like, that you're going to want to take out to lunch and dinner. And guess what's going to happen? She going to tell you, I got a boyfriend. And that's going to be a problem for you because it's your car and you let her ride in your car, or you offer to take her to work or take her home, and you feel because you have a car, you should get something out of the deal. And you're going to get rejected the minute she tell you, I have a boyfriend. And it doesn't matter if she actually has a boyfriend or if she doesn't have a boyfriend. Face the fact that you're going to get used. So that's two problems you're gonna have to face. The third one you're gonna have to face is you're gonna get laid because you have a car. Problem is, it's not gonna be the women you want it to be by. It's gonna be women you don't find physically, sexually attractive. It's gonna be women that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds. It's gonna be women that's in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s. Women you don't find physically, sexually attractive. And you see, the baby boomers, they'll tell you, go get a car because women will come after you because you have a car. What they don't want to tell you is, you're going to get the women that you don't find physically, sexually attractive. And then they're going to try to justify it and say, well, at least you got a woman in the car. At least you got a girl. At least you got laid. But then you're going to probably look at some of these men and say, motherfucker, didn't nobody go through all that trouble, all that hard work and dedication to get subpar women. Now, in the very beginning, for at least 2 or 3 years, sometimes 4 years, depending on the person, you might experience that. Then there are some guys that no sooner than they get their car, they get females they didn't expect they would get. Some guys end up getting upset because they're getting older women or plus size women. Some guys get girls that are good looking but they're just slutty. Now, if you can accept the fact that some of the women that you're going to be taking to work and dropping off at home are whores and sluts, if you can accept the fact that you're going to be getting you some sloppy seconds and you're mentally tough, if you can handle that, you're one mentally tough son of a bitch. I'm just trying to tell you the realest of the real. I've had at least 7 guys, and I'm not making this up, I had at least 7 guys tell me, when you get a car, don't be smiling and jumping up and down for joy, because when you get a car, it comes with a bunch of hard work and dedication. It ain't, yeah, I got a car and life is great. Because you're going to get used by a lot of people. You're going to get people who never respected you, never liked you, never supported you ever in your entire life, also trying to use you. Not just friends, not just co-workers, not just women, but you also got some people from your family that's going to try to use you because you got a car. Or drop me off at the airport, or drop me off at church. And then you get the motherfuckers that be trying to use your car without your permission. You got to watch out for those women. The women who ain't trying to give you no ass, but they want to use your car to go to the nightclub. And you like, hold on, back up, wait a minute. You can't use my car and I can't get no ass. That's why O'Shea Duke Jackson on YouTube made a video called Gas, Pass, or Ass. In my version of the YouTube video, it's gas, kicks your ass. You can't use my car unless I get some ass, or your ass take the bus stop. That's my slogan. Now that I explained sex politics to you, let me explain to you how this has an effect. If you have a car, for the first 2 to 3 years, you're going to be getting subpar women. You're going to get girls at bus stops and train stations giving you fake phone numbers. So don't be thinking that because she gave you a phone number and you got a car that somehow makes your situation better. The only time you know for sure it's a real phone number and the girl calls you back or texts you is it's got to be based on a situation. It has to be based on, what's the word I'm looking for? She has to want to pick up the phone and call you. Like, let's say her boyfriend I don't want to say breakup, but let's say the boyfriend refuses to take her to work and tell her to ride the bus. Well, now she gonna call you and say, you think you can come through and take me to work because my boyfriend was supposed to do it, but he an asshole, he a jerk, and he don't want to do it. This is where you get to tell her, if I don't get to take you out to lunch and dinner, I'm not coming through. Now, she may not like it and say, I have a boyfriend. All you gotta do is tell her it's just lunch or dinner. And she might get 2 of her 3 of her girlfriends saying, just go out to lunch and dinner with them if it means to get a ride. At some point, the girl gonna get sick and tired of riding the bus, riding the train. She gonna get sick and tired of taking Uber. Trust me, she is gonna get tired of Uber, and that's where you have an advantage there. Same thing if it's a college girl, you have the advantage. But that's not gonna happen for at least 2 to 3 years because people have to see you drive a car. And see, here's the thing. When you go pull up at a bus station, when you see a fine black woman or white woman or Latino woman or Asian woman, those women want people like Paul Walker from Fast and Furious to pull up in a sports car and then try that. So you're still going to be having a situation where you're still getting rejected for 2 to 3 years because those women are going to say, well, I'm not no hoe. I'm not no slut. And let's be honest, there are some women that are whores and sluts. And if you buy the right car, and I've seen this, you get the right car, you don't get too much resistance from women. The only time you get resistance from women is if you got the wrong car and they look at your face and they see your car and they go, oh, hell no. It's like what you saw in the movie Transformers, where the girl played by actress Megan Fox was complaining about Shia LaBeouf's character's car, and the car took off and took a picture example of another Chevy Camaro and transformed into the Chevy Camaro. It's going to be a situation like that, where the girl's going to want you to have a better looking car. And then you see the women who use you for your car, they have boyfriends, they have husbands, or they're engaged to get married, or they're 9 months pregnant. So you're going to get used by those women. And the women who don't have boyfriends, the women that don't have husbands, the women that are not engaged to get married, the women that are not 9 months pregnant, those are the women you don't find physically, sexually attractive. And Big Boss Cal 93 said it himself on YouTube, that when he first got a car, he rejected 5 women from high school because when he didn't have no car, those women wouldn't talk to him. But as soon as he got a car, all of a sudden they wanted to give him all the attention. And this is also how some men become whoremongers. This is how some guys have sex with girls, and pumping them also pops up into this equation. I'm going to pump the girl for the sole purpose of when I didn't have no car back in the day, you didn't want to talk to me. Now that I have a car, you want to talk. Pump and dump. Pump and dump can pop up in this situation too. So I'm trying to explain to you in this video when it comes to having a car, you know, the rules of having a car. If she ain't trying to let you take her out to lunch and dinner, don't give her a ride in your car. If you can't take her out on a date, if you ain't getting no ass or no friends with benefits, then do not waste your time with the woman. Because by the end of the day, it's not her that's paying your gas. You're paying for your own gas. By the end of the day, it's not her washing your car. It's you washing your car. It ain't her that's taking the car to the shop. It's you taking your car to the shop. It ain't her paying for your car insurance. It's you paying for your car insurance. Even if you don't have a car and you're in transition of taking your driver's test to get a car because you're being peer pressure by everyone to get a car, just remember the same people who peer pressure you to get a car is the same people who try to use you later. So I hope you like this video. Until next time, peace.